Tyler, can you just go ahead and take us what it's been like to come back into the facilities and all the off-season work that you've been able to go ahead and accomplish?
Yeah, quicker than we all thought we'd be back. So with the CONCACAF scheduling, we came back a week early. We were due to come back and report tomorrow, I believe. It was the original date, which is the rest of MLS teams. But we got a notification, I think a week before Christmas, which caught everybody by surprise. But we were fortunate. We have a really good group of people. We contacted the leadership group. It's the hand that we've been dealt from CONCACAF that we'll be playing a little bit earlier than we'd like on February 3rd and then the 10th away. But yeah, we got straight back to it. This is a lot different year than last year. I think the first few days of training have been fantastic. We were fortunate to bring back 26 players, so a lot of that continuity, a lot of the style of play, everything that we've been doing is there, and then trying to integrate some of these new guys too. We have a few trialists here too, the ones that we drafted in the college draft, to see if they'll be sticking with us or we'll send them back to school potentially, or they'll go a different route. But really just great to be back, great that the sun is shining. We're fortunate here in San Diego that we can stay here the full time. Our preseason will change a little bit. We'll no longer be going to Coachella. We'll be here the entire time in the lead up to that game on February 3rd. But yeah, everybody's excited. I think everybody's in good spirits, and a lot of the staff as well stayed consistent from last year, which has really helped us get off the ground really quickly.
And in terms of squad building, what it's been looking like, obviously the announcement of Lozano today and this morning, what other moves are you going to look forward to? You mentioned you were going to go look internally with the Right to Dream network as well, and what does it look like for any outgoing players as well?
Yeah, that's the other difference this year. We'll have outgoings. Last year was all incomings, which made it more straightforward. But Oswald will join us. You guys saw that today. He's waiting for his visa. Probably be a few days before he travels over here. We're fortunate that we do have a club in Copenhagen, so he's integrated in there right now and starting to learn the style of play, and so that's good for us. We brought in Wilson Eisner through waivers. We brought in Kieran Sargent with Franco Negri departing, and so we're able to get a little bit younger there as well. We will have more things happening next week. Also around extensions, we're looking to try to extend a few key players to make sure that they're rewarded for their contributions to the team and ensure that they're around for the long term too. So a lot of moving pieces. We're fortunate we have a really good ownership group. So that was what we've been talking about all last year in the lead up. This wasn't something that just happened over the off season. We had these targets for many weeks and months well before that, and now it's about finding the right players. And I think that's what's really key for us, is the collective and making sure we can improve on the team. We had a really strong 2025, but we know this league is hard to be sustainable at times, and so how do we continue to build off that? And that's with our collective and making sure that we find the right players that fit this environment.
Tyler, what is the impact for the next World Cup here in the U.S. for the team?
Yeah, it's huge. We'll hopefully have a few players playing in it. I think that's incredible. The fact that Panama have now qualified, and somebody like Anibal Godoy could represent SanDiego.FC and Panama in that World Cup in this country is fantastic, and we're hoping that we have a few others that also do. But for us, it's about the momentum. It's making sure that we gain the momentum into that break, and then obviously we'll enjoy that. That's a pinnacle. It's the entire world to be watching as this country hosts the World Cup here, and we're hoping that we have a couple of representations in there, and then we're able to get back to and get back straight into it after the second half of the year.
Tyler, returning so many players, what makes you most excited knowing what you all accomplished last year? I know you said success is hard to sustain in this league, but what makes you most excited?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of really good players, talented players, but players with growth mindsets. And I think we had a lot of players that improved over the season, and now we have the ability to get them all together here in preseason, where we have some of these, in particular the young players, to be able to continue to improve. If you looked at our roster last year in preseason compared to this year, we didn't have the Luca Bombinos, Pedro Somas, the David Vasquez here to have a preseason, and so they kind of had to get ramped up with the style of play and everything and the environment whenever they arrived. And that's what excites me the most, is that now we've got these 4 weeks to really focus on ourselves, to focus on what we want to continue to improve from last season, and then create that continuity in the group. I think that's something that we can continue to improve. It's the connections on the field. It's understanding your teammates. It's making sure that we can capitalize on those moments.
How much did the bringing back 26 players and the schedule coincide? I mean, knowing that you're going to have to get ramped up early, these are important games. If you brought in 10 new guys.
Yeah, a lot of those decisions were made before. We had the expectations that we were not going to be coming back early, and so a lot of those decisions were already made. We had a lot of loans last year with options, and we were fortunate that a lot of those we felt were good fits, and so we were able to take those. And then, we always knew, especially in an expansion year, when you sign all new players, when you sign them from abroad, you're normally signing them from multi-year contracts and not on one-year deals. There were some trades within the league where we got short-term solutions, but we also had a lot of movement last year. I think we got out 5 or 6 guys leading into the summer window, and then we were able to replace them with what we thought were really good, young, talented players. And so that's just the mindset of the group, is to continue to improve. And I think we're in a lot better place this year, and that's also by default, right? We're not an expansion team anymore, and now it's about trying to continue to improve.
I might as well just break the ice. What's the situation with Chuky?
Yeah, Hirving is, look, we've had a lot of conversations with him, with his representatives, leading into the break, as well as all of last season. We have communicated with Hirving and his representatives that he will not be part of the sporting plans moving forward. That was not a decision that was taken lightly. That was something that was well talked through from owners down to leadership, down to myself and Mikey, and has been communicated with the rest of the group. So we're working with him and his representatives to find the best solution and the best environment for him moving forward.
Is that a sale or a loan?
Look, at the moment, we're open to anything. We believe that a sale is the best for all parties. Look, we really appreciate Hirving's contributions, what he was able to contribute last year. But as the season went on, I think from a style of play fit as well as an environment, we think that it's best for both parties to find a new solution.
Can you expand a little bit on that in terms of style of play? Because it seemed like he was a perfect fit, left winger, right-footed, cut inside. And
Look, I think Hirving is a fantastic player. There's no doubt about that. You look at his career and what he's able to contribute and what he also was able to do last season. But I think it's about much more than that, where you talk about collective often here, and making sure that we have every player bought into what we're trying to do with and without the ball, whether that's also before training, during training, et cetera. And so, again, this wasn't a decision that was taken lightly. It's a very difficult one. It also shows the commitment from the owners in terms of what we're trying to do here. And this doesn't mean either that we're going to take a step back. We're going to continue to try to improve the team. We think we have a really strong group here, and we have good commitment from owners too to continue to improve this team.
And what does it mean for DPs? Sorry.
Yeah, look, we have Anders at the moment, so we've got one as well as Hirving is on the roster, so he contributes as 2. This is one we went back and forth. You're probably a little bit well aware of the roster mechanisms. They haven't changed yet. They may after the new CBA, but right now you can do 2-4 or 3-3. We're looking at all options. I think we would look at it as another attacking player, trying to find somebody else that can share some of the goal-scoring load. And I think that with our 9 situation, we already acquired Lewis Morgan this year, and will be another option from that front 3 spot. So we do need to see kind of how this team continues to progress, and then we'll probably take it from there as this window continues to move on.
Beyond the field, obviously on the field, the tactics are involved when it comes to replacing someone like Chuky. He's not the only reason people were showing up, but when you have that many people coming and cheering his name anytime he's just warming up on the touchline, is that something you guys look at as a front office of, yes, we want a great player to bring in, but also we need to bring in someone to kind of be a face of the franchise to go along with Anders?
Yeah, I think it's, this is professional sport. We understand that this is a business. There's a business side of it too. I'm fortunate that my background's in finance, and this was a decision that was made with the owners who are also looking at that, and with Tom Penn and everybody else from the business side. And so we understand there's going to be implications, not only from a sporting, but also from a business side. And so it's my job to try to get the best team on the field, not only for the immediate, but for also the long term. So taking that into consideration, and then working with the business side to ensure that we can keep Snapdragon a fortress. And I think we were able to show that at the end of the season with how the fans got behind us, how we're able to continue to progress the team and make it from there.
Did any of the off-field stuff that happened last season contribute into Chuky no longer being part of this team?
It was no one. There's no one moment that you can pinpoint. This was something that was communicated throughout last season to Hirving himself as well as his representatives, and so it was more a wholly collective decision that we made on behalf of the group. And again, we're looking at not only short-term success but also long-term, how this club is built for the future.
Since when did you take this decision? Because we saw Chuky very active in social media, with the people in San Diego. When did you take this?
Yeah, we had an open conversation with Hirving at his exit meeting. We very quickly followed up with his representatives shortly after that. So this is not something that should have caught them by surprise. And then obviously when he got back in for preseason was whenever we sat down with him again. So he has been training from the side of the group for the first couple of days.
Do you think he could come back to Mexico or the Mexican team to have you?
Yeah, we're totally open. Again, this is a collaborative process. This is not something that we can do by ourselves. It's something that we're involved with the player and his representatives as well as other clubs to see what that future move looks like.
Tyler, when we spoke to Chuky just about a month ago, he seemed pretty confident that he was going to be coming back with the club. I know I had asked you, and you said nothing's off the table as far as dealing players, but from his side, expecting to come back, what do you feel like changed from that point to where we are now?
Yeah, again, this isn't one person's decision, and so I think it's about that collaborative approach now. Now it's this has been communicated to him, and so now we need to look at what those potential solutions look. We understand that there's a World Cup coming up. I think he has big aspirations to play in that World Cup in his home country. We want to help him play in that World Cup too, and so I think trying to find an opportunity in a club for him that will allow him to play. He needs to play and needs to play consistently in where he's at in his career, and so if we can work with him to be able to find that, we're going to do everything that we can to make it possible.
I'm hearing this correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong. This was you telling him and his camp, we're moving in a different direction, not a mutual.
Correct. Yeah, we've had many conversations, and again, this is not one conversation.
Right.
This is many that have happened throughout the year.
Decision.
Correct. It's the club's decision. It's not my decision. This is something from the owners down, and again, wasn't something that happened overnight. This is something that we've talked about for a long period of time, and understand that there's financial implications that are involved. We understand that there's a number of things and different factors and different parties that you need to make sure that they're all aligned and are open to the decisions that are to come.
Are you going to look for the same kind of market with a Latin player or an European player? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I think I hope you guys have seen our markets are pretty clear. Like, we like to stick to our markets, with North America being a core one of those, and so we are for sure looking in Mexico at the moment. The problem sometimes is those players become very expensive very quickly. You see what Gilmora has been able to do, and his price tag is very quickly risen. So we're looking at every market that is kind of in our core, and we'll continue to do that to see what player fits best.
From your part,
back to when you signed him, I mean, this could work out well for you guys and for him, but if you just go back to when you brought him in and what the expectations were, this seems like a real bummer. It's not going to work out long term. This could have been pretty electric.
Yeah, and I think, look, in year one, there were a lot of electric moments. But I do believe that this club has shown that this is all about the collective. There's no one player that's going to be bigger than the club. There's no one staff member that's bigger than the club. I think the head coach that we hired, and Mikey, he says it often, right? I can't do this alone, and I'm in that same position, and I think Hirving would also be the first one to say that. And so it's ensuring that we have, again, the players in-house that fit our environment, that want to get better every single day, that are really bought into what we're trying to do. These are difficult moments. They're difficult moments for the player. They're difficult moments for the club. But from our standpoint, it's about trying to be collaborative and trying to find the best solution for all parties that allow him to be successful, not only hopefully in the World Cup, but also many years to come.
And people may not understand why his World Cup chances would be any worse if he were here.
Yeah, but he needs to be playing. That's the biggest thing, right? And the biggest thing is that he, at his age, who's had injury, he's had some injury concerns. Obviously, last season he missed a few games for us. At his age, he needs to be playing, and I think that'll be the first message from the national team, is that he does need to be playing competitively to give himself the best chance. And we want him to be successful. We want him to be successful in the World Cup as well as for his career.
And how disappointed are you personally of this news for Chuky? He was like the face of the franchise the first year, the Latin player, the connection with the people. So how disappointed are you?
Yeah, my job is not easy, because I'm the one that often has to deliver this news, and oftentimes it has to do with players and their situations. But again, my job is also to protect the environment and to make sure that we have this club is successful well beyond this season and next season and all the seasons to come. And so this is, again, a collective process that we made together, and we were able to be, in our opinion, very clear to his side about the direction we wanted to go. And so, yeah, everything is always disappointing. This news is never easy to break to a player. But again, it's now about trying to find the best solution for all.
What was Chuky's reaction, if you can share with us?
He was fine. Took it in a professional way, as we would expect. He's again was delivered that news not only at the end of last season and throughout last season, but also as we started preseason.
I know it won't have to be just a big name. You guys will probably look elsewhere, but if you are going for like a big name to bring in as like a face, how hard is that in this timeline of the MLS when a lot of guys in Europe don't move in the January window, and then in the summer will be the World Cup as well?
Yeah, it's always challenging, but there are also a lot of very good players in the world. If I would have sat here and said we're signing Anders Dreyer, again, I know some of you guys were at that press conference, but I would also argue that a lot of people probably wouldn't consider him a big name. And I think what he was able to do in year one with the help of all of his teammates was pretty remarkable. I think we have other guys in this building that are already ready to step up. And now it's about finding the right player that fits into our group and takes us forward. And that's the biggest thing from us is we have backing from ownership. Now it's about making sure that when we do make those investment pieces that they are the right fit and that we can help them grow and continue to grow the team.
You mentioned backing from ownership. Obviously, this is probably going to be a financial loss for you in terms of what you paid for and your transfer fee, what you're paying in salary, and then trying to move him now knowing that he wants to go. How refreshing is it to have ownership that is willing to take that for the betterment of the group out here?
Yeah, I think we've communicated, look at where we are right now, right? I think we have one of the best training grounds, not only in the league, but also in the world. And that shows the commitment and what this club is trying to do. And so that's part of the conversation. It's part of every conversation. It's part of a conversation when you acquire a player as well as you let one go. And so, again, it is really important. The owners drive the club. It's why I'm here. It's why Mikey's here. I think it's why a lot of us are here. And we have fantastic ones that are very committed to their values and driven by what our strategy is. So now it's about, again, my role to make sure that we continue to do that as a club.
And what was Mikey Varas' reaction or advice after you take this decision? Because you didn't mention that he took the decision or was part of
again, Mikey was involved in every conversation. He's a key member of this team. He's part of the leadership group that we talk to. And so, again, I want to be clear. This isn't my decision. This is the club's decision. This is not Mikey's decision. This is the club's decision, and it's one that we're extremely aligned on. And we look forward to moving forward to see how we can get better as a team.
And there is another Mexican player that is with rumors in Mexico, Eric Gutierrez.
Yeah, nothing to those rumors that are true to my knowledge.
Have you targeted which position you'd like to, maybe use a DP on? You have some cover.
Yeah, in the attacking space. We're looking at, again, whether it's a left winger, whether it's a striker, whether it's a 10, we've looked at them all. The problem is those are also the most expensive players normally in the world, and sometimes the hardest to acquire. And so, again, we're more looking at profile as opposed to direct position fit. It needs to fit within the budget. It needs to fit within a number of different areas. But yeah, it definitely would be an attacking player. I think this league has shown that those players are the ones that are normally occupying those spots. And I think we have a really good core, solid foundation in the back already. I think we've been able to acquire some players in very budget-friendly deals and hit the cap at a good number that have shown that they can play at a really high level.
Is there like a timeline or a realistic expectation when you could get somebody like that in here?
Yeah, it could be this window, it could be next window. I don't know, it's not the answer that you want to hear, but it is generally day by day, week by week at this stage. Now the transfer window is open, and you'll see some more announcements hopefully coming very soon. But we are actively working with the scouts and the recruitment team to make sure that we find the right piece.
Either when you sell the club to make your pitch to these potential DP guys, you got a lot of things you can sell, but if you could focus on Dreyer, he seems to fit with anybody and make them better.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's totally bought into the collective, and I think that has benefited him as an individual, which, again, if you look at our style of play, that's what we're looking for. We like to play very close together. We need players that can play on both sides of the ball. We need players that understand the game and can solve pressure in tight spaces, and I think he's proven that he can do all that. He also always does it with a smile on his face, and I think that has been infectious with the group. I think he's settled really well. The connection that him and Yeppe have created on the field as well as off the field has also been a huge thing. He's having a second child very soon. So I think from a family as well as a professional football standpoint, he's in a very good way, and that's what we want to do. We want this place to really express people's confidence and make sure that they can come here and play their best, and we try to get them at the best of their level. We're hoping we can get Anders in a World Cup this summer. I think that would also be incredible for him. They've got some games still to take care of in March, but getting him back in the national team was fantastic, and we're really fortunate that we have a player like him that's, again, coming back, and looks like he never took a time off, and I think he needed a break because he was going on 18 months straight whenever he finished last season.
Did the successes of last season inform and really give a confidence to make a decision like this moving forward, to seeing exactly what it takes to be competitive in this league, and maybe it doesn't take so many big price players as well?
Yeah, I think to be honest, it probably goes down to process, less about the success in terms of results. You can't control results. We've talked about that often already in this first week. It's not about going out and trying to do the exact same things as last year. It's about taking our processes and trying to improve them. And I think that's been a key message to the group, not only the staff but also the players. And we believe if we do that, the result should hopefully take care of itself. So it's about trying to continue to improve those processes. And it's a decision that again doesn't come lightly, and one that we have well thought out, and also believe will hopefully take us into a better place in not only this year but also in years to come.
And what is leadership's message to the fan base that potentially signed up for this project, for this adventure 1 year ago because of Chuky Lozano, and now has a future without him? What's the message from leadership in the club on that direction?
Yeah, I hope they can see what we were able to do last year, and that's with and without him. He wasn't available for every game. He didn't play in every game. There was a playoff run again where he played a kind of a minor role in that, and I know he was still really impactful in that moment, not only on the field but also off the field. But the message is that we're here to win. But what's really important is how we win and who we win with. And so making sure that we've got the right pieces, making sure that this is about a collective, and making sure that we come out there and play as one, that will give us the best chance to win, not only next year but also in years to come.
Tyler, when we spoke with Honors at the end of the last season, he said in soccer you can never say no to anything. Is there a possibility where a European team knocks on the door and says, either in this window, next window, and wants to sign Dreyer? Is there a possibility, or is he off the table?
We've gotten interest. We've gotten interest for a few of our players, and when you have success, there's always interest. That's a compliment to us, I think, in what we're doing. We were a new team. A lot of scouts probably saw us and said, "What is this team? Is this a real team?" And so we hope that only continues. We also have a lot of really talented young players that there's interest abroad in, and so from our standpoint, it's about making sure that those guys are here. They're committed. They're well respected in terms of what they're able to contribute, and those conversations with Honors, I know I did see what he said in the media. We've had many conversations with his representatives over the break as well, and we're hoping to be able to keep him here for a long time.
So Chuky has been training on the side?
Correct.
And then going forward, not at all?
Yeah, we'll be training on the side. He's at the moment, our messaging is that he's not a part of the sporting plans going forward.
But he's still going to be here?
Correct.
Training on the side?
Yeah, we still, he's
next day.
still warming up with the team, still in the gym with the team, but we're prioritizing other players at this moment in training.
Is that a little bit awkward to have a player that on his way out?
He's a professional. This happens. This happened when I arrived at Monaco. I think we had 77 contracted players. I think we had more players training on the side than we did in the group. And so this is something that happens. And again, we will continue to operate in a professional manner, and we hope all of our players do too.
And he remains fully under contract? His contract has been altered?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
You were talking about doing different things. Last year, you told us that maybe Right to Dream could be the direction, develop new players, and maybe a new thing is go to the big market and look for a big player. Like, we saw Thomas Müller coming at the end of the season. Or is the club with that kind of budget, or is looking for in the middle term?
Yeah, I think it's less about budget in that situation. It's more about fit and strategy and what we're looking for at that moment. And so, we will look at every opportunity. We've also had those types of players reach out to us and express their interest, but it has to make sense in terms of the roster build and what we're trying to do. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
The new FC head coach, Mikey Varas. Feel free to take it away.
Mikey, obviously the big bombshell right now by Tyler saying that Hirving Lozano no longer part of the squad moving forward in a footballing sense. What does that mean for you tactically to not have an important player like he was in the moments that he was available last year moving forward?
Yeah, our focus is always on the collective, and it's about pushing the team chemistry this year. And listen, we've played plenty of games with the team without him in the roster, and that team played very, very well.
It's undeniable that most of those people that were there, they were there to see the team, but when he went to go warm up on the touchline, there's people chanting his name, wanting to see him there. How do you send the message to the fan base that it's not just about Chuky, it is about the collective, and then you guys are going to continue to go forward and push for titles?
No one's bigger than the club. No one's bigger than the city. That includes me. And what I can say is the same thing I've always said: we're here to win. But how we win and who we win with matters. And we've made a decision across the entire club, leadership all the way up to ownership. Everybody's on the same page. It's not any sort of division. 100% that this is the best decision for us in the short term, medium term, and the long term. Is what I will tell them.
Can you elaborate on that? And Tyler said you were a major part of the decision. Why is this the best decision, and why do you not want to have a player of his caliber in your roster?
Yeah, you know, we all respect him for the player that he is. Ultimately, it's just not the right fit. It's not the right fit, and when it's not the right fit, it's no one's fault. It's about making sure that we set him up best as possible to help him arrive to the World Cup, because we do want the best for him, and we think that's somewhere else. And most importantly, it's what we think is best for the team, to be competitive, again, in the short term, midterm, and long term.
Mikey, is it not right fit because of off-field stuff, or is it because of style of player? What exactly made him not a right fit for the team moving forward?
Yeah, I think just holistically, altogether, it's not a fit.
How important is it to go get another designated player in this window to get you guys off on the right foot, especially in the attacking third?
Yeah, so, you know, Tyler and the recruitment staff, these guys are working tirelessly all year. You know, even when the roster is full, they're always looking at contingency plans. I can't control any of that. You know, my job is to take care of the players that we have on the pitch, because my feeling is that we have really good players and we have a really good team, and they're training amazing. And they're all bought in, and there's zero distraction inside this locker room and inside this building.
How tactically does this change things? I mean, does Amal and Lewis take over the left side, and what does it do to other positions?
I guess I would ask you the question, what did we do in playoffs when we made a run? You know, we kept chugging along. So we're going to be who we are, and we got the guys who can do it at a high level. Amal's numbers were pretty off the chart. At the end of that season, from a winger perspective, top player, top human being, top teammate, top professional. And Lewis is a player that has already shown in the league that when he's healthy, he's a big-time contributor. So Lewis, what we like about him is that he actually provides us some flexibility, because he can play the number 9 really well. He can also play the number 11. So all of a sudden we have 4 guys between Anders. We have a Marcus coming back healthy, and everybody's rooting for him, because, again, the type of guy he is and the type of professional he is, to be able to stay healthy, because we think he's a really strong player also. So between Anders, Marcus, Pele, and Lewis, regardless of if there's a move in the short term, we have 4 guys that are competing for 3 spots, which is something that a head coach always likes.
And then what would be your message to the fan base that started this adventure last year, especially the Mexican fan base that came out to these games specifically for a player like Chuky Lozano? What's the message to them to be able to say, hey, come on back next year as well?
Mi mensaje sería, ojalá ellos vieron que nosotros somos mucho más que una persona, y que nosotros los queremos mucho, y hay mucho amor por toda nuestra población latino y mexicano. Y que nosotros jugamos de una manera y tenemos una cultura, una manera que quiere reflejar quién son ellos, que son gente que trabaja muy duro, y son gente que le gusta un fútbol que brillante, un fútbol que es para atacar y jugar con mucho garra.
Mikey, obviously the team shocked the whole league last season with how well you all did. What are the expectations that you have for your club this season?
Yeah, I think expectations, I think I said this in my last interview too, I think expectations are unnecessary bricks that you put in your backpack. We don't focus on expectations, we focus on standards. At the end of the day, no one can take away what we all did last season. You know, that's everybody. That's from the people who clean this building, to the cooks, to the ownership, to the players, to the staff, and to our amazing supporters. That was all of us. That environment that we had and the run that we went on, nobody can take it away from us. And at the end of the day, we planted roots for a club to be born. Like, how incredible is that? And on top of that, we went on a special ride together at the same time. Wow, that doesn't always happen. But we can't mistake these roots for those of a 100-year-old redwood. Okay, that's what we're trying to get. And so we need to continue working. And what I would say is that the people are going to ask this question: what are the new expectations? You know, can they do this again, or was this just a fairy tale? For me, that's the wrong question. We're going to be asking ourselves every day, how can we get better? Now, what are we going to do when we step here in this facility? And I'm not talking about results. I'm talking about how we prepare every single day, every single second to give ourselves the best chance of doing something special again. Because we're looking for sustainability here. And the only way that you become sustainable is if you're flying every single day, Monday through Friday. Sunday recovery, Monday through Friday, flying over and over again. And I know our supporters are in line with that, and they support that also. And that's what will give us the best chance. So we already started really positively. I've been part of preseasons before, and these first 3 days feel a little bit different than ones I've been a part of, where you feel like it's a little bit rusty. Guys are getting through the motions. These guys hit the ground running, because they have our football in their DNA now, and they have our culture in their DNA now. So now it's just about onboarding some new guys and then facing a whole new challenge. Everybody knows who we are now. There's no surprise anymore. And everybody is going to look at us totally different. I don't read too much into these things, but I'm pretty sure last year everybody picked us to be really bad. And this year, some guys are going to pick us to be really good. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is what we do every single day, and that we show up ready to play our best. And I know that we're going to do that.
And how different is it to start out the season essentially with playoff matches, right, in the CONCACAF Champions against Pumas right before the regular season starts?
It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. And to give you an insight into the mentality of this group, we were told we were going to play in the third week, right? So we were told, and we sent all of our staff and all of our players off. And then we got thrown a curveball. No, you have to play on the first week. So everybody has to come back a week early, and we have to play after 3 weeks of preseason, not 6 weeks of preseason. And the mentality of this group was, all right, giddy up, let's go. No excuses, no complaining. All the players said, leadership, we told them, hey, you got to come back a week early. Oh, of course, no problem. We'll be there. And I think that should show the mentality of, one, how excited we are to have that challenge, and it's going to be a big challenge, but also just who we are as people.
Mikey, you guys have picked up some young players in the preseason. In your opinion, what does a successful preseason look like for a player that's trying to make a roster spot?
We tell them to, the most important thing they can show is their learning ability. So it's not about what they do in the first 3 days, 4 days. Some guys want to come and they want to show that they should be a starter. It's a big jump, especially when they come from college. So take on the information, show that you have something to you, that you're a competitor. But more, if we see you continuing to get better, we're going to say, okay, that's a pretty good trajectory for a player.
Mikey, feliz año. Antes que nada,
Gracias.
¿Qué tan importante es el Mundial de la FIFA para el equipo de SanDiego.FC?
Es muy importante. Yo creo que nosotros valoramos mucho las selecciones y el mundial. Y más que nada, un mundial en México, Canadá y Estados Unidos. Entonces, nosotros queremos ayudar obviamente, dentro del plan del equipo, ayudar a cada individuo que pueda representar su país y llegar a eso.
Después de una gran temporada, seguir disfrutando esos frutos con el CONCACAF Champions. Cuéntame, ¿cómo lo tomas SanDiego.FC?
Es primero un gran mérito por el trabajo que hemos hecho el año pasado, pero también sabiendo que empezamos un poquito de cero este año. Y lo que ha pasado el año pasado no vale si no seguimos trabajando ahora y empujando para más. Entonces nosotros, como siempre, vamos a ir por cada partido. Y eso es, nosotros vamos a jugar un partido oficial después de 3 semanas de entrenamiento, y Pumas va a jugar 4 partidos oficiales antes de jugar contra nosotros. Pero eso no va a ser excusa. Esto es un reto para decir, ok, ¿cómo podemos sobresalir en un reto, un desafío tan difícil?
Mikey, sí.
Nada más un mensaje a la afición para seguir apoyando al equipo con no violencia y la no discriminación.
Sí, primero y principal para la afición, para la hinchada, feliz año nuevo, y ojalá todas sus familias están con buena salud y feliz. Nosotros les queremos mucho a ustedes, ustedes son el corazón del club, y que sí, siempre acá tenemos que tener el valor del poder de diversidad. Sabemos que la diversidad es muy importante y tenemos que tener el club con el ambiente, con más energía y pasión, pero con más compasión y amor en todo el mundo. Yo creo que podemos llegar a eso.
Mikey, al aficionado le tomó por sorpresa esta noticia, quizá lo del Chuky. Si pudieras un poco pues, explicarles, ¿no? qué fue lo que pasó, las causas, los motivos de la separación.
Lo que te puedo decir, porque no vale la pena entrar en detalles tan largos, es esto fue una decisión que se tomó por un análisis de todo el año. Esto no fue algo que pasó, que una cosa pasó o pasó al fin de año. Esto es algo que había muchas cosas que nos hicimos analizar para decir esto nosotros no encajamos juntos. Esto no es para juzgar a nadie, ni a nosotros como club, ni a él como persona, como jugador. Es decir que solamente no es un buen fit y que lo mejor es que nosotros seguimos sin él.
En la balanza, imagino, pesa más el tema de la conducta, personalidad, que el tema deportivo, quizá.
Es todo.
¿Y cuál es el paso a seguir con Hirving? ¿Tiene contrato? ¿Cuál sería el paso a seguir ahorita?
Bueno, el paso, eso depende de Hirving, sus representantes y Tyler, para buscar una solución, porque nosotros queremos que él llegue al Mundial. Profundamente tenemos mucho respeto por él como jugador y él debería jugar un Mundial en su país, y va a haber opciones para que él pueda hacer eso. Entonces trabajar con ellos en una colaboración para ayudar que eso pase.
Y la última mía, ¿cuál fue la reacción de Hirving y quién se encargó de darle las noticias?
Lo tomó con calma, lo aceptó, fue sus palabras, y lo está tomando muy profesional.
Profe, ahorita en inglés comentaba la situación de que no hay ningún jugador más grande que el club, tampoco ningún entrenador. Sin embargo, el mensaje también pudiera ser al revés. ¿Se sentía el Chuky más grande que el club de alguna forma y por eso sale? ¿O
no, es solamente por la pregunta de qué puedo decir a la gente que nos querían seguir por él. Y el mensaje es hacerles acordar a todo el mundo, no es por un jugador o un entrenador, no hay una persona más grande del club. Y el club y la comunidad es lo más importante. Entonces es siempre ir acordando que estamos construyendo un club para una región, y que hay decisiones que son difíciles que hay que tomar, pero nosotros lo tomamos para el buen salud del club y para el corto, medio y largo plazo.
¿Y usted platicó con él después de la decisión? ¿Tuvo alguna conversación? Si nos puede compartir.
Nosotros presentamos la decisión cara a cara por respeto por él.
¿Y en ese momento cuál fue la conversación? No sé si pueda...
No, lo aceptó. Nosotros le dijimos lo que nos han dicho a ustedes y dijo que lo aceptó y lo está tomando profesionalmente.
Y usted para el siguiente paso, profe, jugador franquicia, se queda Anders ahora como al frente, pero pudiera llegar alguien más latino, europeo. ¿Cuál es el objetivo que usted busca en el sentido de ese nuevo jugador franquicia?
Nosotros siempre pensamos cuando hay que llegar a un jugador que tenga máximo talento y máximo carácter. Es lo que buscamos. Tyler y su equipo en el scouting siempre están trabajando a full para buscar quién puede estar ahí, inclusivamente cuando ya tenemos el plantel lleno, porque ellos están trabajando siempre. Pero mi trabajo, porque yo no tengo control de eso, es manejar el grupo que tenemos, que está entrenando a full como animales, y están totalmente enfocados en tener una buena temporada.
Profe, difícil no preguntarle, la temporada pasada el entusiasmo por la llegada de Chuky, inclusive de usted, era estaba muy contento, muy alegre de tenerlo. ¿Qué tan, no sé si la palabra sea decepcionante o tan sorpresivo para usted es que la cosa no haya terminado de la mejor manera?
No, porque estas cosas pasan en la vida y, como yo he dicho, es más cuestión de que no encajamos perfectamente, no era un fit, como se dice en inglés, y esas cosas pasan en la vida, y nosotros seguimos teniendo mucho respeto por él como jugador, como hombre de familia, y queremos lo mejor para él.
Mikey, para cerrar, Actualizaciones sobre la primera semana de entreno del grupo, cómo ves a todos los chicos entrenando y cómo están motivados para encarar el inicio del torneo.
Sí, no, como he dicho en inglés, nosotros, nadie nos puede quitarnos lo que hemos hecho el año pasado. Yo creo que el equipo, la afición, todo el mundo hizo soñar a una ciudad y nosotros queremos seguir trabajando hasta mejor para dar más a toda la gente.
Mikey, could you repeat your answer about the importance of the World Cup on this club in English?
Yeah, the World Cup is massive. We have a ton of respect for national teams and the World Cup, especially one that's played Mexico, United States, and Canada. So inside of the success of the collective, we also want to do everything we can to make sure that our individual players have the best chance of representing their country and something like that.
You know, when you talked about the roots and standards, how much of the difference is it from last year when you guys were just trying to establish that to now having them established and kind of using that as the building block going into it?
It's unbelievable because I think last year it was natural. The first year, well, first of all, it's my job and our staff's job always to set the standard, a high one. And it's the players' initial job to reach those standards. And I think they did a fantastic job doing that. Ultimately, special teams are built on players taking that standard and lifting it the final meters that a coach could never get them to do. And I have no problem saying that because I don't think there's a single coach who can do it. The special teams, the players take it. And now we're in a position where that can start to come to fruition a little bit because it was natural last year that it was hard. It was a lot of information. Everything was new. They were new. But now how I see these guys hitting the ground running, communicating, even talking to us, I'm like, okay, these guys are ready. And I think that's going to be a big plus for us.
Un tema, profe, perdón, para hablar del partido contra Pumas, la serie que van a tener en la CONCACHAMPIONS, ¿cómo ve eso? Ahora cambian un poquito los papeles, de repente en los torneos internacionales México llegaba con desventaja por su pretemporada, ahora usted va a llegar con esa situación y el torneo mexicano arrancado.
Sí, bueno, la noticia nos tomó un poquito por sorpresa porque pensábamos que íbamos a jugar 2 semanas después, pero es la vida y nosotros lo tomamos como un reto, un desafío para ganar, para lograr. Y todos los chicos tienen la mentalidad de que cada entrenamiento que tenemos no puede sumar un entrenamiento, porque tenemos menos entrenamiento para prepararnos. El 1 más 1 no puede sumar 2. Entonces estamos así con ese tipo de enfoque y nosotros vamos a hacer todo lo mejor, todo lo que podemos para salir y ganar esos partidos.
Y primera vez que se va a enfrentar a un grande, como le llaman en el fútbol mexicano, uno de los 4 grandes Pumas de la UNAM, uno de los equipos más históricos, y donde San Diego puede también dejar su nombre en una competencia contra un equipo de la magnitud, porque es muy popular en México.
Sí.
Enfrentarle a ese tipo de equipos ahora, después de la experiencia que ya tuvo en la League Cup con Tigres, Pachuca, pero Pumas sí realmente es otra fanaticada mucho más grande, ¿no?
Como he dicho durante el League Cup, yo tengo mucho respeto por Liga MX y todos los equipos que están ahí. Tienen muy buenos jugadores, entrenadores con mucha capacidad y también mucha experiencia. Tienen mucho calle dentro de su juego, mucho técnica y saben ganar partidos. Entonces para nosotros lo más importante es decir, ok, este va a ser un desafío grande, pero tenemos que enfocar todos los días cómo podemos preparar de la mejor manera para que en 3 semanas y medio estamos listos para enfrentar un gran equipo.
Y el sueño del Mundial de Clubes, ¿dónde está guardado ahorita? ¿Dónde lo tiene en mente?
Lo más importante es el entrenamiento que viene mañana para hacer eso bien. Y lo que yo sí sé es que este club va en esa dirección. El cuándo, no soy mago, no lo tengo. Ojalá yo formo parte del club en ese momento, pero mi trabajo es dar un paso para frente para ser un club grande, un club gigante, como yo he dicho el año pasado.
Any other questions for Mikey? Thanks so much for your